Good morning, cousins. How was your full moon working last night? I want to know about it. In fact, you can tell me more about it if you want to come to we're doing a live grimoire reading on Wednesday. And after reading from the grimoire of the ungovernable, we're going to be talking for like an hour. So, yeah, you're beginning to worry. One thing to remember about this international coven and community of neurodivergent witches is that we all have raging ADHD. The default is not uh, neurotypical or what is like standard. The default is that 90% of us have a different relationship with time. So we either run really early or we run a little bit late, and we have compassion for all of that. And so we're fine. But this is why we usually give about 5 minutes of like a bumper after the start of all of the meetings that we do at Bright and Dark Center, is because we all run a little bit late. That's the norm for us. So you have raging anxiety. All right. So happy Monday to everyone. Want to know what I did yesterday for the full moon? I like this whole thing. So I have started. So one of the things that I have, the beliefs that I have recently released is that I have to um, align my sleep schedule with a capitalistic perspective, right? That 8 hours of a solid sleep has only been around for a couple hundred years. It has only been around since the Industrial Revolution. For thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands and thousands of years, we have slept in a broken sleep cycle. So I've been transitioning to a sleep cycle that is more conducive to living on a homestead. And so I have begun, I wake up with the sun every morning and I take a nap between like 1 and 4-ish, and then I get up and then I do more like farm chores. And so I tried to do that yesterday, but I was so excited because the plan was to put all of the starts, and we're talking about hundreds of plant starts, into the hugelkultur beds that we've been building for the last couple of months. The plan was to put them in the ground yesterday, you know, during the full moon. I couldn't take a nap, so I got up, got dressed, and decided to just go ahead and get started with planting. So I get out there, I got my trays and trays and trays of starts. And as soon as I put my shovel into the ground, a loud thunder crack happened above us. The sky lit up with lightning and it just started pouring down rain. So I got to plant the garden that will feed the communities that I serve during a thunderstorm on a blue moon, and it was wonderful. It was so great. I was out there completely soaked by the time, like, this was done. It is great. It was the greatest experience ever. Morgana came out and she was like, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need some help?" And I was like, "No, I'm having the time of my life. I'm doing it for the lore." I I believe that the timing of everything yesterday was perfect. Usually hindsight, I look back and it's like, "Oh, that totally makes sense." So, yeah, and it makes for a really great story too. And I have witnesses today, this morning. So I'm gonna be planting probably all week long, planting seeds and getting all of the beds, not just the hugelkultur beds, but the other raised beds that we have around the homestead up and going, replanting everything, which I love to do. And that's what I'm gonna be doing again, probably all week long. Right now, we're doing a divination ceremony, And in this divination ceremony, we're going to be asking, where does our attention need to be today to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? All right, we're cutting right to it. We want the information, right? So that's what we're going to do. I am going to do a ceremony that I do to prepare myself for divination, my system for divination. You do the same. Okay, this is an opportunity for you to repair your relationship with your intuition. This is a space that you can pull tarot cards as well. I'm going to be doing a collective reading, but you can dial it into your personal flow by pulling cards for yourself. There will be many witches that are also pulling cards. And so they're going to be putting them in the comments when they pull them so that we can get that sweet, sweet validation that we are a lot more connected than we have been made to believe. And it's in doing things like this that give us kind of a snapshot into that. So without further ado, I'm going to ditch my phone out of the way. I'm going to hydrate and then I'm going to get into this. All right. If you do not have a ceremony or ritual that you do to prepare your mind, body, spirit for divination, you're welcome to follow along as I do mine. My practice tends to be radically inclusive due to the nature of the work that I do. So that is not threaded correctly. There. Yesterday's was 100% on point. Mhm. All right. Are we ready? You don't have to uh sorry. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to like know all the words of what I'm doing or anything like that. Just breathe with me. When you see me breathe, you breathe. Okay. I'm not going to like guide you through it. You can see it. And we'll do this together. And every time you breathe, breathe as deep as you can and blow all of the air out. All right. On your mark as I go. Let's do this. Uncross your legs. Roll your shoulders if you need to. Check in with your body. See if you need to adjust your position at all. If you need more pillows, go grab them. All right. Start by taking 3 really deep breaths. I humbly invite all that is fire within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is air within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is earth within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is water within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I beckon to this system. May we now align as one. For my cousins are the elements, and so the moon and sun. I call to those who love me. You are welcome in this space. For our nature is united, sharing magic, life, and grace. All right. And now we make a declaration of intention. We're going to do this like repeat after me thing. Okay. I choose now in this moment to align with my whole self. To pull the book that tells my story from its place upon the shelf. I enter now this circle made of trust and hope and power. And I show up for my practice in this place and at this hour. Because I am home. Right. All right. So we're asking, where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? That is a terrible bridge. Again, I have cat hair all over my face, as usual. All right. Get my glasses. The Six of Swords reversed is what we drew. Hold on. Oh, it's so satisfying when I actually find the fluff. So this is the card that we drew. I'm going to read directly from that card so that I'm not influencing your initial interpretation of this. I will influence you after I give you a minute to brew on it. Okay. Six of Swords reversed. You may be open to changes that need to be made, but there's something in your way. The reverse Six of Swords is encouraging you to keep moving forward. Continue to work outside of your comfort zone. And then the upright is there's a state of transition where you're being forced out of your comfort zone or a difficult past, and you're headed toward uncharted territory. This move is crucial for your growth, whether you're wanting it or not. Take the time to reflect on any emotional baggage you may be carrying as you're moving between phases and see what you may be able to leave behind. Okay. What does that mean for you? I'm doing the same. I'm brewing too. This is me brewing. Comfort zone. So it keeps coming up. What is your comfort zone? Right. What does that even mean? Like, really? So, the problem with staying within your comfort zone, staying with things that you believe are safe, staying with things that you believe isn't risky, doesn't mean that you're safe or even comfortable for that matter. Your comfort zone is what is familiar. You believe that it's predictable. And even if it is predictably problematic, at least it's that like the devil right? Uh, even if it's problematic, even if it's causing you harm and suffering, you stick with it because it's familiar and you believe that you will be able to plan your way out of it, or you just need to you're doing something wrong. You just need to do it right and it will be safe. It'll recover. But that's not fucking true. Those are lies that you're telling yourself that are keeping you captive. Okay. Easy is usually familiar, but it's not necessarily um, what's in your best interests. And I know that Hold on just a second. So the imagery that I'm getting is that it's like you have lived, I get this imagery of a farm that is surrounded by forest. And you have lived on this farm in this life your whole life, and everyone on the farm. And everyone says that to leave the farm is dangerous, right? It's dangerous. There's dangerous things in the woods, but the farm is a hot mess, right? You are not happy. You don't like being there. You want nothing more than to be out of there. But you're too exhausted from constantly working and constantly pushing yourself to your limit or pushing yourself to exhaustion every day because that's what is required of you at this like farm, right? So you're in this constantly exhausted state, and the only way to get out of this constantly exhausted state is to go to the woods. But that's terrifying because that's outside of your comfort zone. This is kind of what we're talking about here. You're being called to go to the woods. All like everything about what you want in life is not possible where you're at. It's not. No matter how many little adjustments you make, it will never be what you want it to be because it's not designed to be that. You have to seek, search elsewhere. Take a risk on yourself and your dreams. It's like you finally get to this point where you're like, I don't care what is in the woods. I'm done. I am done with this. I'm not going to do this anymore. I would rather risk my life out there in the woods than spend one more day toiling for nonsense. Right? Do you see what I mean with this analogy? The frog in water that slowly turns to a boil is another kind of example. You have to you got to you what is it going to take for you to do the scary thing? It is most of the time, it's only scary because you have been taught that it is scary, right? I am someone I've lived a very like transient lifestyle. I was an Air Force brat, so I moved around a lot as a child, and that just kind of stuck with me. And um, where was I going with that? Oh, I had a really good point. Train of thought when that like crashed. It's always fun, especially when it's in public, right? Oh, it was so good, and I lost it. It's frustrating. Oh, well, we have to move on then. Trying to find it again, guys. Okay. All right. Now I remember where I was going. Now I remember where I was going. I've lived a very like transient lifestyle. I have been houseless several times in my life. It was during those times of houselessness that I got to see a part of humanity that I never would have seen had I not been in that position. And to be completely honest with you, at this point in my life, the threat of houselessness has no power over me. I'm not afraid of it. I fucking live in the woods in a tent. I've done it before. I love it. I prefer it. I would go live in a tent in the woods before I would go and live in the city in an apartment. Like, I would rather be houseless than participate in a system that is dependent on my subjugation and the subjugation of those that I care about. I just won't do it, right? I cannot be threatened in that way. I can't be threatened in a lot of ways. The tools, the weapons to keep me compliant don't work on me, right? But it's because I was out of my comfort zone so much in my life. It's not the woods aren't scary, but for most of us, we're told that if you don't follow the rules, you're going to be homeless, you're going to be an addict, nobody's going to love you. Like all of these things that are threats that are fucking hogwash, especially when you start building community and making connections, right? Which is what you're wanting to do. So, all right. Yeah. So, Carrie B, I think is that's what it says. So it says, what came to me was I left a high control cult slash farm, and everything I've always wanted was wrong or scary in the woods. So here's the thing. If you are, and I'm speaking from an American perspective because I'm from the United States of embarrassment. Um, all of us in the United States were raised in a cult. All of us. If you went to public, if you went to institutionalized learning, you were indoctrinated, minimum. That's not even counting all the indoctrination you got from a church if you grew up in a high control church. And the sooner you admit and accept the fact that your mind was indoctrinated at a very young age, the sooner you can start breaking free from that indoctrination. It influences every aspect of your life and you don't even know it. The indoctrination was so well done that you don't even know you're in a cult, but you are, very much are. So so it's pretty safe to say if it's scary to you, it's probably your path to freedom because you were taught to fear the things that set you free. Okay. So now we're going to see what we're in resistance to or in denial of that keeps us from engaging, from being able to really engage with this, like getting out of your comfort zone thing. The Nine of Swords upright. I'm going to read. Okay. I'm reading directly from the card. I am not inserting anything from this, okay? Fear is an awful thing, and it's difficult to reach out for help when it hits. Don't hide when you're stricken with grief or sadness. Sharing trauma or stress with others can be therapeutic and can help you regain control over what troubles you. And the reverse Nine of Swords signals that a past trauma may be rearing its ugly head once again. But there is hope, so long as you are willing to put in the effort to fight against this negativity. Take care of your mental health and know that it is not as isolating as it may seem. Many others are going through the same thing. This is what you're in resistance to or in denial of. I'm letting you brew on it. Honestly, I love it when readings are this clear. It's not lost on me that I just said this. Like I just said this. Yeah. How do I say this? I mean, I just said all of the things. Like I just said this. Okay. What you're going through is real. Okay. Your emotions and feelings about all of the things are very real. And it's so important that you see that you're not the only one. You're not the only one that is suffering in this way. But again, since we were raised in this cult, we're also taught that you can't tell anyone, right? That our troubles and the things that we're experiencing are shameful and wrong and dangerous. So you can't tell anyone, right? And high control social organizations thrive on silence. They thrive on you not telling anyone what you're experiencing. They thrive on you being so immobilized by fear that you don't do anything about it. You don't talk to anyone. You keep it hidden and inside of you. But the problem is that that eats away at you. Okay. And Helvy, that too, right there, what you just said. I just have so much stuff. I don't want to burden anyone else with that. You believe that your suffering is a burden to others, and that is a product of your indoctrination. Your fear, your suffering is not too much for a community that is genuinely invested in your well-being. Right? You sharing, you talking about it, you actually doing the work to unpack what you've experienced for you to be able to learn how to co-regulate, not just regulate yourself, but learn what co-regulation is and have someone else be able to actually hold you in you with your like broken bits and to love you through that. That's possible. Right? But because we believe that our pain and suffering is a burden, we don't do it. We don't do the work, and we're constantly in this, like, shame tornado, right? Foundations, the Foundations program that we have at Bright and Dark Center is to crack this wide open, to actually show you the power of doing this work together, and to help remind you that your voice is important. Group sharing and talking about your experience is a big part of what you do. And some of the most healing and most profound experiences that you're going to have is when you actually open up and talk to others, because they're most of the time you're going to get, oh my God, me too. Me too. Right. It is not hopeless. It's not hopeless. Not hopeless. You are not hopeless. There's so much. We are thriving, actually, thriving in these times. But it's because we were brave enough to get out of our comfort zone and actually talk, actually participate, actually engage in our own healing. Tamma, you're right that you're weak if you can't handle it. No, you shouldn't have to handle it. The only reason you're handling it is because somebody else is doing. I mean, it's a vicious cycle. And when you step out of that vicious cycle, you get so much clarity when you are no longer bound by guilt and shame and fear. And I'm not saying you don't experience those things, but you can actually engage with them. You're not running from any of it anymore, and you're not bound by it. Okay. So if I were to sum this up, this reading into like a task for today, like if our guides or guidance is saying, hey, you need to look at um, You need to actually look at what's going on. You need to actually talk about your experiences with someone. Get out of your comfort zone and talk about what is real. And if you don't have a safe place to go, to talk, to have these conversations, that's why we built the app space so that we can connect with other witches that are doing this work, that are identifying this problem and actually are supportive without telling you what to do with your life, which is a big difference. So there is a lot going on. Yay for shadow work today. Yeah, it is shadow work for sure. Shadow work every day. Um, what you're experiencing is real. It's not all in your head. Even if it was all in your head, your beliefs create your reality. So even if it was in your head, it is your reality. Change. It still exists. All right. I am looking in to see if there's anything else. But what I keep getting is that um, what you want, what you're asking for in life requires you to get out of your comfort zone and share your experiences with others. Yeah. Mhm. We can do this. We can do this. Like, this is our birthright to do this work. There's a reason why we're born so freaking stubborn and defiant, is so that we can do this work, so that we can break these bindings forever and make sure they don't get passed on to the next generation like they were passed on to us. We can stop it, but we have to do it. This is a beyond hopes and prayers moment, guys. This is an actual do something about it. And the scariest thing is talking to someone, right? You can. And if you're like really confused on where to get started, how to get plugged into all of this, you can book what we're calling an alignment call with Silver. Silver is who we call the professor. They are one of the unbound witches of Bright and Dark. They have invested years and years and years and years of their life in training to be able to hold this very specific space for you. You can book with them and you can ask them, tell them what you're wanting and ask them where to get plugged in. If you think of them as like a guidance counselor to let you know what resources are available that is going to get you what you're wanting. Okay. You can book that with them. It's 15 minutes. They're not going to be able to solve all of your life's problems. Like, they wouldn't want to do that anyway, because you are the one that's supposed to solve your problems. If you're wanting help with a like personal, like there's something going on with your life and you're needing guidance, you're going to need more than 15 minutes with them. This 15-minute call is for them to be able to let you know what resources are available, again, for your specific needs, for your path. That, yeah. Okay. Okay. That's our reading for the day. The next time I will see you guys is on Wednesday when I read from the Grimoire of the Ungovernable. I'm actually starting from the beginning, so now's a really good time to join the book club if you're wanting to do that. And we're going to read from the Grimoire for an hour, and then it's going to be an open Q&A for another hour. And I get to hang out with you guys, and you can ask all kinds of questions. It'll be great. Be super fun. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to get myself together and start planting some seeds in the garden today. So let's close out this working. Put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. This working is now closing, but the magic has just begun. I humbly thank the elements and both the moon and sun. To all who chose to bless this flow, I now sincerely thank you. May our practice be expansive and our course be clear and true. All right, guys. All right. I'll see you on Wednesday then. Goodbye.